curriculum and syllabus innovation, close evaluation of the textbook in use and its strengths and limitations, and of course, assessment. You can't expect to make these big changes in isolation from everything else. And this really is a message of support. The language teacher cannot do this alone. One of the things that has made me apprehensive for many years, and I see it at this conference, you go to individual presentations and they are fantastic, but they remain with the individual. If that individual leaves the university or the educational system, it's gone. There's no systemic change. And to really make changes, it needs to go beyond the individual, and certainly beyond the individual language teacher, and teachers need support. So I hope there are some powerful people in the audience who can think about digital literacy, not just at the classroom level, but at the institutional level. And some of the things I've said about connecting to the wider world, creativity, critical thinking, these sorts of things, particularly those that Joseph Aoun, the president of Northwestern University, talked about. Okay, the EFL classroom and digital literacy. Digital literacy is not just the responsibility of the language teacher anyway. Students come to the class as sophisticated users, not naive users, and they will be, in a sense, learning digital literacy in other subjects and in the world outside. But you need to think about what you should cover in class and what the students might know already, or might be inappropriate, might be unnecessarily time-consuming and taking you away from the language learning itself. And as I said, language first, in my opinion. All right, well, I've talked a lot, I've covered a lot of bases. I hope I haven't sort of overwhelmed you too much, but just some concluding thoughts. Just adding more and more sub-literacies I don't think is helpful. My take on this is to think about what comes in, reception, reading, input, and what goes out. And thinking about reading and writing loosely in those terms. Think about how the technology deforms the language and what particular language is needed to perform successfully with particular devices and for particular tasks. We need to identify underlying skills: reception, production, creativity, and links to the wider world. I know I keep saying this, but links to the wider world and creativity with language, I think, are increasingly important in the world of today and for the future. And finally, it is a collaborative group effort, not just an individual one. These are the references, and thank you very kindly for listening so attentively for the last 45 minutes. Cheers, thank you.
Thank you very much. Associate Dr. Mike Levy.
So now I would like to invite Assistant Professor Dr. Ubon Sanpachayapong to present a token of